The Razvadover Rebbe had a number of hanhagos tovos, a number of customs that he undertook in order to show dedication to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. One of those minhagim, one of those customs was that he fasted every Monday and Thursday. As he got older, the doctors asked him to scale back on a number of those customs, particularly on this one of fasting on Monday and Thursday. The Rebbe, of course, listened to the words of the doctor, but yet at the same time, it gnawed at him. How could he stop his Anhagas Tova? So he decided to take a trip to his Rebbe, the Sanzer Rebbe in Sanz. And this way, perhaps by time away, and especially time outside, maybe he would feel a little bit stronger, feel a little bit better, and he would get the Rebbe's bracha to continue fasting Monday, Thursday. He went to Sanz, and sure enough, he was feeling stronger and he was feeling better. So when he went into the Rebbe and he explained what the doctors had said, he asked the Rebbe, I'm feeling better now. I'm feeling stronger. Is there a way that the Rebbe perhaps could give me a bracha so that I can begin once again my custom of dedication to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? The Sanzer Rebbe thought for a little bit and then said, not only can you not start fasting again on Monday and Thursday, but I'm giving you a directive that even on Tisha B'Av, you shouldn't fast. The Razvadover was shocked, not fasting on Tisha B'Av. How could that be? It was such a cornerstone of his avoda to mourn for Yerushalayim. But the Rebbe spoke, and what the Rebbe said, that's what we had to listen to. Comes Tisha B'Av, the Razvadover starts mourning for Yerushalayim, crying, in the beginning of the day fasting, but at a certain point he calls over his Gabbai. The Rebbe said he had to break his fast. So he was going to break his fast. And the Gabbai reports that as the Razvadover ate, he said, Yerushalayim, you know how much I love you. And we know that normally to show you respect on this day, the call of the day is to fast. But today, for me, to show you respect, the call of the day is to eat. And I hope that through this, I'll be strong enough to dedicate the rest of my life to bringing glory to you, Yerushalayim, your Kodesh, may it be rebuilt as quickly as possible. That even though traditionally we have a long-standing practice of doing Avodas Hashem in a certain way, at some point it might be that the call of the day shifts and we have to do Avodas Hashem in a different manner. The Sfas Emes in Taf Reish Lamed Hey explains that this is what's happening in the Pasuk when the Torah describes that there were already enough donations for the Mishkan. The Torah tells us, Ish v'isha al yasu od milacha l'trumas hakodesh, that nobody should bring any more donations. Vayakel ha'am me'avi, and the people stop bringing. The Sfas Emes asks, why is the Torah so elaborate on describing to us the stopping process? And he explains, because so often in our Avodas Hashem, we get so stuck in the routine that what we are supposed to do is X. This is the way that we do Avodas Hashem, that we forget to pay attention that maybe there's a shift. And the reason why the stop is so important is because if we're able to stop our routine, if we're able to stop our habit, our practice, l'shem shemayim, so then it reflects back on when we do the normative practice, that's l'shem shemayim as well. That we're doing it not just because we've become habituated to it, but rather we're doing it l'shem shemayim. If we get into the practice of asking ourselves, what is it that Hashem wants from me now? What is it that Hashem wants from me now? So that we can be aware that right now the call of the day is to stop bringing donations. Right now the call of the day is to not fast, but rather to eat. If we get into that practice, so then even when the routine is on, even when we are doing our normative practice, if we ask at those points, what does Hashem want from me now? So then we'll be certain that the reason why we're doing those mitzvos, the reasons why we are following those practices, are still out of love for Kutcher Brichu, as opposed to just because this is the habit that I've developed. We've all experienced this over the past year. The routine that we grew up with is to go to Minyan and to daven together in shul. But as we know, the call shifted. What does Hashem want from me now? Don't go to shul. Don't daven with the Minyan. We don't know the reason why Hashem wanted something different. But the stop is so important on reflecting on why we do that mitzvah in the first place. And this carries over into daily practice as well. So many times we get into the habit of saying certain things during davening, that this has to be my davening. But if there's a certain circumstance, for some reason, the meeting goes a little bit faster, or maybe we're a little bit behind, and we feel like, oh gosh, in order to daven properly, I need to say everything that I normally say. And then maybe we start saying some things during Kaddish or during Chazaras Hashatz, where the call of those moments are to stop and listen. There's a conflict, but I want to say what I have to say, and sometimes that ends up taking me opposite from what the halacha would really want. Whereas the halacha is very explicit. Sometimes the call of the day is to say less with kavana than to say more, and to say everything that we're used to than to say those without kavana. Yiratzom of Nevinu Shabbat HaKadosh Baruch Hu should help us understand and to uphold the practice of the stop. To be in the habit of asking, what does Hashem want from me now? If it's a stop, I'm going to stop. Because then when there is routine, it'll show that when I am doing it, and I am in the habit of asking, what does Hashem want from me now, even within the routine, so then I'll be able to remind myself with passion and fire and enthusiasm that the reason why I'm doing this is out of love for Kudsha Brichu as well. Have a great Shabbos.